I'm from Milwaukee, and when I was a kid, their baseball team, the Milwaukee Brewers, were in the American League. In 1998, the Brewers joined the National League, and I remember Brewer fans saying, well, at least Sox fans won't come here no more. But then they realized the Cubs fans were worse, because they're just as obnoxious as Green Bay Packer fans. Anyway, despite being from Milwaukee, I've been a Cubs fan for years. One reason is because I love Chicago, which might cause you to ask, if you love Chicago so much, are you a White Sox fan? And my answer is, of course, no. Whenever I wore a Cubs hat in Milwaukee, I'd get hate stares. People would always ask me, hey Bob, do a lot of people in Milwaukee give you shit for being a Cubs fan? And my canned response was always, yeah, but not as much shit as I get in Chicago. And we'd laugh and laugh and laugh. But it's true, because the crosstown rivalry between the Cubs and the White Sox is ancient and real. The White Sox started out as a minor league team in St. Paul, Minnesota. Their owner, Charles Comiskey, moved them to Chicago. The Chicago White Stockings were established in 1900 as part of the newly formed American League, and by 1904 adopted White Sox as its shortened nickname. The color of socks a team wore was a big deal at that time, so much so that teams named themselves after it, like the Boston Red Sox, the Cincinnati Red Stockings, who shortened it to Reds, and even the Chicago Cubs were originally called the White Stockings, until 1907 when they decided that name was lame, and officially renamed it after baby bears. You're probably saying, Bob, enough about Cubs. Isn't this episode supposed to be about the Sox? And you're right to yell at me, and I'm sorry. As a team, the White Sox started out really good, winning the American League pennant in 1901, and the World Series in 1906, against the Cubs. Bob! Sorry. The White Sox won another World Series in 1917, defeating the New York Giants, with stars like Shoeless Joe Jackson emerging as a key player, who, by the way, hated that nickname. I hate that nickname. Their legacy, however, took a dark turn in 1919 with the infamous Black Sox Scandal.
Black? Huh. It's the worst color there is. No offense there, Carl.
I get it all the time.
8 players, including Shoeless Joe Jackson, stop calling me that, were accused of losing the World Series to the Cincinnati Reds in exchange for money from gamblers. Though acquitted in court, the players were banned from baseball for life, tarnishing the team's reputation. In 2025, the MLB lifted the lifelong bans on these players, including Shoeless Joe Jackson. Stop calling me that, ruling that lifelong bans end when the players' long lives are over. And all of the 8 players were long dead and no longer a threat to the game's integrity. After the scandal, the White Sox entered a long period of mediocrity, kind of like the Cubs. Bob! Sorry. Despite occasional strong seasons, like winning the American League pennant in 1959 with the Go-Go Sox, they couldn't secure another championship. The team played at Comiskey Park from 1910 to 1990. Comiskey Park is named after, you guessed it, team owner Charles Comiskey. The park was a beloved South Side landmark before moving to a new stadium, which was originally called New Comiskey Park.
You know, they still miss their old ballpark. They hate that new place. You see them coming in with their heads down going, look at this stupid-ass fucking thing, you know? We had a classic fucking car, and we traded it in on a Ford Taurus. What the fuck did we do?
Then, Guaranteed Rate Field in 1991. Currently, it's just called Rate Field, and next year it will probably be called Field, if it's even around next year. The White Sox broke their championship drought in 2005 when they swept the Houston Astros in the World Series. But since then, the only record they broke was in 2024. When their record was 41 wins and 121 losses, the most losses in Major League Baseball history, which might be the reason why they give Cubs fans so much shit.